His speech will be bigger than you are. So let's welcome Bill Lewis.
Thank you, William. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. Be bigger than you are. In Toastmasters, as in much of life, our biggest enemy is timidity. It's a VPE who doesn't push members to take roles. It's a general evaluator who says the meeting was just fine when it wasn't. We are not here to be humble, self-effacing servants of the district. We are here to be effective and help our members succeed. And sometimes that means we have to be assertive and even pushy. Most of us are far too quick to dismiss ourselves due to our own feelings of insecurity, inadequacy, and doubt. Are we inadequate? Yes, we are. There are other people who could do our jobs better than we, but they are not here. We, the people in this room, are the leaders of this district, and there is no one else for our members to turn to. We must be bigger on stage than we are in real life. We must put away our own fears and insecurities so that we can help others with theirs. In our speeches, most of our stories are happy ones. And even the sad ones have redemptive qualities to them. Real life is not so kind. Sometimes there is no redemption. There's only pain. I'm now going to tell you a very sad story. I'm doing so because it is important to look at the hard parts of life, the parts that debilitate us and leave us filled with self-doubt and feelings of inadequacy. I've never been very good with women. I don't know why. I don't think I'm so bad, but my opinion doesn't count. Suffice to say, I'm 59, single. It wasn't for lack of trying. As bad as I am with women, I'm wonderful with their children. I've always gotten along well with kids, and I'm invariably the favorite uncle who tells funny stories and chases them around in circles. I crave kid time. I had 3 friends from college who were all single mothers. Pat married a guy who was a bum and left her. Gwen had an affair and didn't tell the guy, and Judy gave up on men entirely and went the turkey baster route. She got twins. I visited the first time when the twins were 3 years old. We went to the movies to see Aladdin, and when the genie turned into a giant scary snake, Rebecca screamed, buried her head in my chest, and held on for dear life. After that, she started calling me Daddy Bill. Everybody thought that was pretty funny, but it stuck, and I liked it. When I was pondering what to get them for Christmas, I came up with a brilliant idea. I would go out in the summer, I would rent an RV, and we would explore the country together. They loved it. I set the destination of my brother's ranch in Utah. The women planned the route, packed up the food, and we were on the road. 3 women, 4 kids, and me. We had a wonderful time. I told stories, we played games, the kids read books, we laughed a lot. Gwen and Caleb also argued a lot. Both of them had hair-trigger tempers, and they fed off of each other. Caleb was a big 8-year-old, and he would torture the twins. He'd be pushing and poking them, and he would not stop. I would sit on him. I wouldn't get angry, I wouldn't hurt him, I would just sit on him. And he would squirm and struggle and push and pull, but he couldn't hit me. He could hit anyone else, but not me. So we would struggle for a while, and then eventually we would get so absurd we'd start laughing and he'd get away, but by that time he'd forgotten about the twins, so it kind of worked. In Utah, we rode Sandy's horses, we ran around the farm, we even put on a play. I would make these little performances for the kids, and we would do them together. The only requirement was that Rebecca had to be a princess. When we visited Temple Square, all these people came up to us and told us how wonderful it was to see a proper Mormon family who wasn't afraid to be out in public together. What a trip. I was working in Sweden a lot of the time and invited Caleb to come and visit. He got into trouble at school for lying until the teacher called home. That was pretty funny, but he got in trouble at school a lot. yelling, fighting, arguing with the teachers. The next year we went to Niagara Falls. The kids and I decorated the RV with this giant pirate flag, and we had streamers that flapped in the wind. The next year we did the Grand Canyon, then the Grand Tetons, then we had to stay in Wisconsin because Caleb was in juvenile detention. When he got out, Gwen and Judy moved to Denver for a new start. It worked at first. Caleb is a smart kid, and when he applies himself, he is capable. But he gets angry. When he gets angry, he gets stupid. I had him out in California. We had a great time. We got chased by wasps when we were repairing the roof. We got lost in the mountains. I had a friend of mine give him a flying lesson in a 182. Caleb was a handful, but when I was there, everything was cool. Each time he returned to Denver, determined to do better, then something would happen. Our last 2 trips had to be entirely in Colorado because Caleb was on parole. I got a position as visiting professor at L'École Ligne de Nantes in western France. I invited the twins to come out for a visit, and we had a blast. Rebecca let it drop that Caleb was in prison again. This time it involved drugs and guns. Denver Post, Douglas County. 16-year-old Sean Cernaglia and his girlfriend, Carrie Hayden, were bound and gagged, stuffed into a car, taken to a field, and shot. Caleb is in prison, life without parole. He thinks it's the right place for him. Have you ever second-guessed yourself? Have you ever said to yourself, why didn't I do more? Why didn't I bring him out to California? Why didn't I move to Wisconsin? I could run my business from there. Why didn't I? Why didn't I? Sometimes there is no redemption. There's only pain. You will wake up nights screaming at yourself. You will beg gods you don't believe in to make it not be true. You will cry and cry and cry. What good are you when you've let down the people you care most about? Then, you'll get up the next morning, you'll brush your teeth and dry your eyes, you'll put out on a smile, and you'll go out into the world and do what is important. You'll go to TLIs and tell people what wonderful things they are doing, and how proud you are to be associated with them. You will smile and laugh and tell jokes, and you will be sincere. The pain will never go away. What is important is that you stand up in spite of it and do your best for the people you care about. When times are good, rejoice in them. Throw your heart and soul into the people you care about. Dance around the maypole, catch lizards, build giant papier-mâché dragons, chase pigeons. Ponder the great mysteries of life. Why does everyone look better in my hats than I do? When Caleb was turned 10, they blindfolded him and took him to the airport, where I got off the airplane with birthday present number 1. Birthday present number 2 was this package I taped up really tightly. I told him he could have it, but only if he could get into it without using scissors. It took him 20 minutes of scratching and clawing and chewing. I don't even remember what it was. This is what is worth living for. She always had to be a princess. When we sailed to Visby, Caleb forgot his jacket, so we had to share mine. I got the left sleeve, he got the right. We zipped up and we staggered around town like a four-legged drunk all night. Sidonia is a nurse now. The twins are going to graduate from college next year. Pat has found herself a good man, and Gwen and Judy inherited a pile of money. Life is good. And I'm not an idiot. I know I don't have magic powers, but it's not a question of some objective reality. It's about how I feel. And I feel I let him down. As leaders, there are times when we must simply put away our own pain so that we may help others. We must be big and bold and brash and make our people feel proud. These are our friends, our neighbors, our fellow citizens. They're relying on us, and we must be there for them. Be bigger than you are.